there, people. Today, I'm going to tell you about how the way a twist ending was presented served a narrative purpose in the story. But before I get to the device used to do that, I'm going to have to give a little bit of context. The Metal Gear series is the brainchild of Hideo Kojima, pictured here. It dates way back when to 1987, and told its story completely out of any real sensible order, and so it left its final entry, the final real entry, MgsV, to tie up any loose ends. It did so in some places, didn't do so in others, but the overall point of it, the way it was marketed and the way Kojima talked about it, was to reveal what caused one of the series' protagonists fall to villainy. The protagonist in question, Naked Snake, who after being manipulated by the US government into killing his mentor, the Boss, was given the title Big Boss to show he had surpassed her, and that's what we'll be referring to him as from now on. Now, I will oversimplify for clarity's sake, but suffice it to say, he wasn't too thrilled with the fact that soldiers like him were being manipulated into doing the government's dirty work for them, especially since he also respected the Boss's vision of a world of peace more than the shady dealings of corrupt imperialist nations. Big Boss was no hero. He was a soldier, first and foremost. And if you paid attention, the series did actually show how his moral compass was not that of a hero, yet he was always deliberately framed as one. You're made to think about how much of a hero Big Boss really is if he's recruiting child soldiers and furthering his own vision of the Boss's world of peace. To that end, he wanted to create a nation of soldiers, loyal to no country, only the highest bidder, so that soldiers would never again be exploited by governments, a clear parallel to the evils of the military-industrial complex and the current rise of private military companies. And yet, through all of this, Big Boss remains framed a hero, which is where we come to MgsV. When the story starts, Big Boss's base has just been obliterated, and I'll let the doctor explain something here.
Now, I need to explain something to you, but you mustn't be alarmed. 9 years ago, you were injured in an explosion. Upon examination, we discovered 108 foreign bodies embedded within you. In addition to shrapnel, we also found fragments of human bone and human teeth. Most of it was removed, but some of the fragments still remain. They are located near your heart and in your skull. Look at this. The fragments are lodged deep within your cerebral cortex. We couldn't give you an MRI, the metal, you see. But even if we were to extract it, you would most likely suffer a brain hemorrhage. Mental and physical impairment are unavoidable. However, your current status is not life-threatening. One more thing. This X-ray is of your upper body. You better look now. Best to understand your situation sooner than later. I know it's difficult, but please look down. It's best to see with your own eyes. Be brave. Nosakoma, Grigor, try to calm down. Calm down. Please, calm down. It's gonna be okay. Yes, yes. Calm down. Yes. Yes.
After playing through the game and past some other twists and turns, we come to this scene. And I'll just let it play here and see what you think.
No time for anesthetic. We have to open her now. Boss.
Now do you remember who you are? What you were meant to do? I cheated death thanks to you. And thanks to you, I've left my mark. You have too. You've written your own history. You're your own man. I'm Big Boss. And you are too. No, he's the two of us together. Where we are today, we built it. This story, this legend, it's ours. We can change the world and with it the future. I am you and you are me. Carry that with you wherever you go. Thank you, my friend. From here on out, you're Big Boss.
We were pawns. A soldier from Big Boss's old base who took the damage of the explosion for him in an act of pure loyalty. Seeing this and how his life was in danger, a plan was concocted to make you a copy of Big Boss and make you do the work of building back his legend, while the real Big Boss made preparations for Outer Heaven, his next attempt at this nation of soldiers. This moment, and the way it was presented, is what we call a frame story. It's a literary device wherein a character frames a story as it being told within the story. In this case, it's the cassette player. It's Big Boss admitting that he manipulated this soldier, thus cementing his fault of villainy in our eyes. Later on, there's another frame story, and I'm going to let it play here.
I haven't forgotten what you told me, boss. We have no tomorrow, but there's still hope for the future. In our struggle to survive the present, we push the future farther away. Will I see it in my lifetime? Probably not. Which means there's no time to waste. Someday the world will no longer need us. No need for the gun, or the hand to pull the trigger. I have to drive out this demon inside me. Build a better future. That's what we will leave as our legacy. Another mission, right, boss?
This time it's us. It's Venom Snake recording a cassette tape for Big Boss. And I think the use of these cassette tapes as the actual piece of the frame story are meant to convey how distant we've become to the real Big Boss now that we as players are starting to come to terms with his hypocrisy. Big Boss hated being manipulated by the puppet masters that are the US government. And yet here he is, manipulating Venom Snake, not even through direct communication, rather a non-personal way, like a government. The point of it was also to show how, despite this, despite all the pain that Big Boss caused him, Venom Snake remained loyal. It serves as a metaphor for a certain type of player. Metaphors are a way of representing something through another thing. In this case, it's how the framing of a story causes an uncritical player, a loyal soldier, to remain steadfast at the side of the man who used you. As a story near and dear to my heart, I relish the opportunity to be able to tell you about some of the many, many storytelling devices that Kojima uses to tell the Metal Gear series' story. I mean, at one point, the series even correctly predicted the current societal landscape of the informational overflow of the internet and the effect that that would have on people that lack the will to correctly inform themselves. So yeah, I had quite a lot to work with for this one. Either way, I'd like to thank you all for seeing this presentation, and remember, 2 + 2 = 5.
Kept you waiting, huh?
Hallelujah, low.